What's going on, guys? Satsuki the Savage here, and today I'm going to be talking about Attack on Titan, giving you my top 10 most underrated characters. And as a disclaimer, some of these characters will be manga exclusive, so if you are not caught up with the manga, if you're anime only, I advise that you do not watch this video because I'm going to spoil you on some of the characters. And most of this video will probably be audio and pictures, so you will not have to see my ugly ass for a good majority of this video, so lucky you. With that being said, let's get started. At number 10, we have Moblit, the assistant to Hanji, who was always in the background but present more than you think. While he didn't have much of a unique personality, he was crucial to Hanji's well-being. Since Hanji is very reckless in her curiosity when Titans are involved, she will often get too close to Titans, Sunny and Beam for example, forcing Moblit to swoop in and save her. While this was done early on for comedic value, we see in the Shinganshina art that Moblit actually gave up his life to protect Hanji when he pushes her in a well to cushion the impact from Bertholt's transformation. So while Moblit may not be a great standalone character, paired with Hanji, he was pretty cool since he was instrumental in her survival. At number 9, I have Hitch, and this is a personal choice that was less to do with good character qualities and more to do with me seeing myself in Hitch. Sorry, Marlo, but she is single now. Hitch is a lazy fuck who will try to get out of work as often as possible and will complain a storm while doing so. This is literally me. She's also one of the few and maybe the only person from the 104th Training Corps that stayed a military police that we know by name at least. And since she is a military police, that will also mean that she ranked top 10 in her class, which is pretty damn phenomenal. And her whacking John across the face with a stick is a top 10 moment in Attack on Titan for sure. At number 8, I have Hannes. Now, Hannes didn't get much screen time at all, but he's on this list because of what he represented in Attack on Titan, which to me was peace. Hannes was ridiculed for drinking on the job, rightfully so, but him getting drunk on duty reminded us of how lax everyone was before the Titans invaded. People felt comfortable goofing off, and Hannes was the personification of those simpler times. Aside from that, Hannes also has one of the best lines in Attack on Titan from the second episode, where he says to Eren, "You couldn't save your mom because you weren't strong enough. I didn't face the Titan because I wasn't brave enough." And I love this line because it showed how human Hannes was, still being afraid of the Titans. And then we later see him get the opportunity to redeem himself and take revenge for the death of Carla, facing off against a smiling Titan. And even though he fails and dies, he at the very least had the courage to overcome his fear. Probably one of the most hated characters in Attack on Titan at the moment, Gabby is at number 7, not exactly for who she is right now, but because of what she can be in the future. Gabby as a character has high potential to grow. She is an Eldian warrior who, more so than any warrior we've seen thus far, is deeply brainwashed by the values of Marleyan sovereignty to the point where she hates her own kind and is extremely vocal about it. However, taking the trip to Paradise Island, I feel is the perfect area for Gabby to flourish. Talking to someone like Kaya, who exposed the shallowness of Gabby's hatred, being saved by Mikasa, who is not only an Eldian, but a friend of Sasha who Gabby killed. And lastly, seeing that Piak, a fellow warrior who believes that Marley will soon be rid of the Eldians, it all comes together to change Gabby's opinion on Eldians and force her to think for herself. Again, I don't believe that she is a great character at the moment, but soon her growth will transform her into that. And speaking of hated characters, we move on to number 6 with Floch, who many believe should have died in the suicide charge pioneered by Erwin. Floch is a character who speaks his mind no matter how harsh, no matter how inappropriate, no matter how damning it is to himself. He's a character that you may not like, but you have to respect because in many instances, he has the bravery to say what most people are afraid to say. There isn't any sugarcoating coming from Floch. We also see that he has leadership abilities, being the main Jaegerist, making moves, getting shit done. And he got the recruits to beat the living hell out of Shades, which is just a dick move, but again, I must respect it. Next up is Piak, who low-key has been saving the asses of some of her comrades. She saved Zeke, Reiner, and Porco on different occasions from the Wrath of Survey Corps members. So while her Titan isn't all that impressive, she has been pretty useful in the story so far. Piak is also one of the smarter characters in Attack on Titan, being acknowledged for her wit in the story numerous times. She questioned the logic of Marley's decision to send kids to take the coordinate, and she's the one that figured out that Zeke betrayed Marley with the assistance of the volunteers. Also, to me, she's genuinely funny, like when she trolls Yelena about her fake beard, or when we see her crawling on the floor because she's accustomed to being in the Titan form. At number 4, we have the man who somehow was able to feed Sasha for up to 12 years without going broke or insane. Mr. Blouse is rare because he was actually a great father figure. Before Sasha joined the Survey Corps, Mr. Blouse pushed her into integrating with society because their lifestyle of hunting in the forest couldn't be maintained for long thanks to the Titan invasion. His lesson was that living is a privilege and your pride and custom shouldn't hold you back from enjoying that privilege, which I thought was a great lesson. We also see that Mr. Blouse is a kind soul, taking in orphans into his own home. He even took in Gabby and Falco with no hesitation. This generosity is put to the ultimate test when he learns that Gabby was the one that killed his daughter, yet instead of taking revenge, he chose to forgive Gabby instead. Probably the least insufferable Marleyan, we have General, yes, General, not Commander, get that right, Magath, who initially I didn't pay attention to, but after a reread of Attack on Titan, he left an impression on me. Being a Marleyan, Magath has a distaste for Eldians, but unlike most Marleyans, he doesn't let this bias get in the way of progress. Magath lets the Eldian warriors speak up to give their input on military affairs, and he doesn't seem bothered being around Eldians, and he actually looked concerned when Gabby, an Eldian, was in danger, showing that he has a complex character. Magath also isn't shook in the face of Titans. When Eren went on his rampage in Marley and all of the soldiers were pissing themselves, Magath stepped up and delivered the first counterattack and rallied his men to fight back. At number 2, similar to General Magath, we have Pyxis, who is also a person of power who will put pride and ego aside for the greater good. Pyxis is all about saving lives, and if there's a way to prevent bloodshed, then Pyxis will search for that path no matter how dire. Pyxis is wise, as we can see when he's able to see right through Yelena's lies with no trouble at all. And to put a cherry on top, Pyxis is a man of culture, voicing this pipe dream of being taken care of by a pretty woman in his old age. Give Pyxis some Henny and a fine woman to talk to, and he'll be in paradise. That is my commander. And at number 1, the man who set things into motion, father of Zeke and Eren, adopted father of Mikasa, a rebel Eldian restorationist who plotted against Marley, finesser of the coordinate, and the man who backed himself too wise, yes, too wise, my nigga. One royalty, the other one looking hella bad. Grisha Jaeger, the OG savage. In the same way that Eren embodies the theme of freedom, we've seen Grisha was one of the first to do it. Grisha wanted to see past the interment zone that the Eldians were restricted to, much like how Eren wanted to see past the walls. Not only did Grisha seek freedom for himself though, he also wanted to catapult the rise of the Eldians, eventually taking on the mission that Eren Kruger left him. In addition, we see that Grisha grew as a father after he realized his mistake of pushing Zeke into a role he didn't want. With Eren, Grisha may have been a little distant, but he allowed Eren to make his own decisions, and he took in Mikasa when she had nowhere to go. I also can't ignore how much of a fucking savage this man was. He ran up on the Race family, beat Frieda's ass, stole the coordinate, and proceeded to kill the rest of the Race family, excluding Ra's bitch ass. And he did this with the Race family having home court advantage. That is my GOAT. And that pretty much sums up the video. If you guys have your own top 10 underrated characters list, or if you have some characters that you feel I missed or should have been on this list, please comment that below. But guys, that's pretty much it for the video. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Satsuki the Savage, out. Fuck these niggas, man. Fuck these niggas. Niggas don't give a fuck about Satsuki. Yeah. On that JD, boy. What you know about that, boy? You know, Get on this JD, niggas start talking reckless, you know. Might incriminate yourself and shit. So I usually don't be recording when I'm on that JD, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? This is exclusive shit, man. I should be paying. This should be pay-per-view, my nigga. It should be pay-per-view. But you get the exclusive. Lucky you, my nigga.